What's up, guys? It is a shitty Saturday here in the lovely state of Michigan. So today, took the truck in, got the trailer brake that I added programmed, and I got my backup cam programmed, or the XAC code unlocked in the Uconnect for the backup camera that I just added to work. Unfortunately, the camera is showing me a blue screen. They said that there's probably a connector on the back of the touchscreen itself that isn't connected, and which kind of makes sense. You wouldn't want to connect something to the back of this screen that isn't on the truck. Now it's on the truck, so we got to take this apart. Which is good, I guess, in a way, because then I can show you how I added the trailer brake. And I'm going to show you the connectors that will go into the module, because for some reason they program my trailer brake and never plug the connectors into the box. So, and I'm going to show you where the switch goes. Obviously, you can see right here. This is the actual trailer brake switch itself. If you don't have this, you'll have like a little false thing like this is here. And it's really easy to just pop that little false thing out and just pop this right in. And then the false piece, if I can find it, yeah. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is what was in this section. And then the connector, if your truck is pre-wired, will be plugged into this hole right here. So that's how you can tell, and I'm going to show you exactly how we went about that whole process. So let's get to it. Alright, first order of business. Don't mind my truck, it is messy. I have been running around all day. So first thing you want to do is this trim piece right here just pops off. So if you can find a spot where you can kind of get your fingers underneath it, pull straight up. This is very flimsy as a piece, so just kind of work around slowly, just pulling it straight up. It does pop right off. It's not difficult. You just give it a little bit of pressure, it'll come right off. So this piece has to come out, no big deal. I like taking this off sometimes if I spill stuff, and I like that it comes off easy, because then I can clean all the way around it and get all the stickiness off of it. And then this piece right here is all one piece, this border piece. So what we got to do is, see, it's got this little tab, so when you put it back in, you just got to kind of find its hole that it goes in and just push it in, and it pops right in, so no big deal. So just pull this out just like that, and you can see right here that there are, well, you kind of see it, there's two Phillips screws right here, okay, on either side. Screwdriver. These are kind of a pain in the butt to get started turning out, regardless of how tight you put them back in. I didn't put them in that tight last time I did this, and it was still kind of a pain to get that out. So just make sure you got a good grip on it. Take these out. All right. That one. That one, leave them in the cup holder, because this does not need to come out. Just this. So what you got to do is you got to open up your center console all the way up, because this piece has got to come up and it would hit the center console. Now you just lift, pops it right off. Okay. Oh. That one just popped right off. So as you can see, this whole section, it just comes right off. It's not a big deal. So now you've opened up this whole area, because this actually has to pull back. So this piece right here was kind of holding it right here. That's why that piece has got to come out. Now for this section, will all come out as one whole total unit. Okay, all of this trim piece will all come out as one piece. Now you'll see right here, you got to pull this up, pull it out. Again, we'll leave it in there. And then underneath this, if I can, oh, popped right out that time. And you can see there's these two Torx bits, and then there's another one all the way in the back in there. Unfortunately, you can't really see it, and I don't have a flashlight. So this is what I've been using to take it on and off. This is an extended Torx bit drive. It is a T20. And you might need a wrench or a ratchet for this. I only hand tightened them down just in case I needed to take it out again, which I obviously did. So I'll get the 3 out and then I'll show you how it pops off. Okay guys, so we got the two Torx screws that are up here and the one that goes in the very back of here. This one is really hard to just get out, but when you pop this off, it'll just kind of fall out. So that's usually just what I do and just leave it. So the trick with getting this off, when I first took it off, it was very difficult to pull it, but again, once those are out, this all just pops on. It's all just got a push clip that look just like these ones, okay? These little clips. So, but it does hit this part of the center console piece. So all you want to do is when you do this, you just want to pull this in a little bit, you know, just give it a little bit of freedom. Oh, sorry, forgot one part. This kick panel pops right off, and you want to pop it off on both sides. Okay, just pops off. That's it. Just pull it, comes right off. But you just want to push this in a little bit. Hopefully I can do this and not need 2 hands, or I can get this to where you can see it. So we're just going to pull this in a little bit and pull this back. You see it just pops. Everything pops. And then, I don't know if you guys be able to see, but we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just pop. That's it. And then what we're going to do is you're just going to pull it going up. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Man, it keeps getting stuck. See? Pops right off. So you can see that the whole unit now just all came off as one piece. And then I just tilt it back this way to get back here to the wiring harness, because it pulls on this harness if you try to just pull the whole thing back together. So you just tilt it forward. That's always the first one I take out. This way I don't have to you know, struggle with that too much. But unplug all these plugs. This has a little safety pin on the back. I don't know if you guys can really see where my finger is. Just pull it up, and then you can push it down and pull it off. That's the safety thing, is just so that it doesn't come off. That is for your rotary shifter, so you don't want that coming off. Now make sure you remember which one this one is, and then this is your connector for your trailer brake, okay? But they're very similar, so make sure you remember which one's which, obviously. So those are off, and then this one back here, kind of struggle with it a little bit. Then you can completely remove the piece, okay? Like I said, it's the entire piece. And then when you're doing your trailer brake, this is where it's gonna go, obviously. And then all you do with these to get this out is there's 4 Phillips, one here. Same thing on the other side. You unscrew those, right? And then you pull these tabs back a little bit and just kind of, you know, pull up on it, and this will pop out. So that's really easy to get this portion out. No big deal. I thought I had the other one that they gave me, but I guess I don't. I did, but now I don't, I guess. So here's the question now, is getting the screen out, or checking to see if there's a plug for the screen. So all of it is back there, and I am going to see what I got to do. Let me take a look and see what's going on, and then we'll be back. All right guys, real quick, for doing the trailer brake. So this is what that piece is that I was telling you about. And again, you'll have, this is the false piece, and then you'll have your connector for your trailer brake, if your truck's pre-wired, will be plugged into this. Now to get the false piece out is really simple, right? You just take a flathead screwdriver and you just kind of get in between and just pull towards the clip, or towards where it would be, and it just pops it right out. That's it, right? Pops right out. And then when you want to put your trailer brake, your switch in, you'll put the switch in the way it's supposed to go, obviously, and then you just push it on. Clips right back in, no big deal. All right, now let's get back to work on this screen. All right, guys, well, I got the radio out, and yeah, there's no like missing connector or anything like that that isn't plugged into the radio. The rear backup camera actually just wires right into the main connector on the back of the radio. Unfortunately, I put the radio back in already. I do have some other stuff I gotta get done before I get to work, but we are gonna take that back out today. I'm gonna go stop by my buddy's shop and actually get the wiring diagram for it, so I can figure out why all the wires are in the tailgate for it, but the wire doesn't go into the main connector here. And just, I did look up on line real quick to see if I could get an image, diagram image for the main connector on the back of this camera. I did. It tells me that it's supposed to be pin 31 on there, and there's nothing in pin 31, so that means there's no wire there. I want to verify that that's actually the pin that it goes to for the camera return to the radio. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. Once we get an actual wiring diagram, we can actually verify whether or not it's wired to the radio the way it's supposed to. I don't understand why it wouldn't be. Again, this truck was pre-wired for everything else, so it should have just had the wires in there. I also do have the you know, the 8-inch, the 8.4 AN radio with the navigation. I could unlock navigation in this, so this is the fully decked out one, so this should have everything going to it, but it doesn't. So, but we'll figure that out. So what we're gonna do now is I'm just gonna go ahead and just put this back on, plug everything back in, put all the trim pieces on. I'm not gonna screw anything down right now, just because we're gonna take this back apart later. So I'm just gonna set you down kind of right here. You can see, yep. And then yeah, we'll just get all this stuff plugged back in, and then we're gonna get under the dash, and we're going to plug in the trailer brake module. I'll also show you the location for that. It's a real big pain in the ass to get to. But we'll plug in the trailer brake module, since for some reason they programmed it at the dealer and for some reason didn't plug it in, which almost doesn't surprise me. This is why I never take my truck to the dealer for any reason unless I absolutely have to. You know, beyond the fact that I'm a mechanic by trade in the first place, but yeah, dealership mechanics tend to not be very good at what they're doing or pay attention to what they're doing. So that, like you can see, that just pops right back on. And then again, we gotta lift this up, drop that into place, and then this should just pop on down. Sometimes you gotta kind of finesse it, make sure it gets in the right spot. Don't push down really hard. It does not take a lot of force. If you do push too hard and the pin's not in the right spot, then you will break it, or at least break the pin off. Usually when you push down here in the front parts first, it does kind of like line it up, and then see as it just pops right into place. So we'll get this, set this into place. Same thing, you know, just try to make sure I always try to make sure it's a little bit even and around the around this piece right here before I really start pushing it down. Just kind of go around the edges and just make sure it gets all down, pushing straight down. See, it just clicks all back into place. Everything's good. Like I said, I'm going to leave this piece out, leave the screws out. I'll just put that back there for that. Slide this back in. Again, make sure this tab goes here, and then that's good. But now we know how to get the trailer brake switch in, and all that. So if we look under here, now they've got this kick panel off, which we'll just throw in the back of the truck for now, so it's not in my way. There's the trailer brake module right there. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's right there. And then, if you guys can see, these are the plugs. They will be covered with this foam stuff, so you might not notice them at first if you're looking to see if your truck is pre-wired. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the two plugs of the foam over them. There's two of them. So if you see 2 plugs underneath the dash in that area under the kick, behind the kick panel, then you're probably wired for a trailer brake. And of course, you know, taking off the center console, seeing if that false piece has a connector connected to it also will tell you if you're pre-wired for a trailer brake. So I'm going to plug this in, make sure it works, because they said they programmed it and yet it's not plugged in. So check that, and I'll be back in a second. Well guys, a little bit of update on what's going on right now as it pertains to the trailer brake and my new backup camera. Still not functioning. Problem number one is they did a download for the trailer brake. And I called the dealer because I found that it was disconnected, obviously, when I got it back. And I asked them if they checked to make sure that it was in fact working before they gave me my fucking truck back, and they didn't. They said, oh well, the download didn't plug my trailer brake in to the didn't plug the module in, and yeah, didn't check to make sure that it was actually functioning before taking my money and giving me my truck back. And I believe, if I am correct, they had to use a scan tool to run the download, which would go through the DLC connector. For those of you who don't know what a data link connector is, I'll show you real quick. So usually you would plug it into this. Probably can't see it really well, but this plug right here is usually where you plug the scan tool in. So they should have plugged the scan tool in and ran basically like an update on the trailer brake, puts my VIN number and everything, and registers this truck to that and gets everything working. Well, if they did that, it was unplugged the whole time, so it never actually worked. And they said it took, but it probably didn't actually take. So gonna have to call the dealer on Monday, get in there and do that. Now, as it pertains to the backup camera, we actually got to get underneath the truck here, and I will show you what I didn't see. So this connector right there, right, you can see this harness, this portion of the harness. There's only 2 wires on this side. Okay, so your spare tire's here, your hitch is here. Right in between the 2, you'll look straight up and you'll see this connected to the back of the truck. Now the other side of this harness goes up and into the tailgate. The problem is because this harness only has 2 wires, it does not actually have the wiring for the camera. So what I didn't know is when I took the plate off, you take this plate off, right? And inside you'll see the connector for the camera, and I had to buy a little jumper harness. If you have just the locking tailgate, there will be a single harness with just two plugs on it, one that plugs into the harness that goes through the tailgate, and the other plug that goes into your locking mechanism. So what you need to do is you get the jumper harness, which actually has the connector coming out of the main harness that goes to the tailgate, and then it goes into actually 2 connectors. A little white one is the one that plugs into the camera. So when I checked that harness, all the wires were there for it. So I assumed the whole rest of the truck was pre-wired for it. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Only the tailgate is wired for it for whatever reason, and the rest of the entire body of the truck isn't. Therefore, I don't have the wiring that goes into the radio. So it is unlocked at least, and I can't find any schematics at all to show me which pins on the connector need to be put in, and all the wiring going basically from that connector to the radio. I do have a full electronics department here at work, and I could literally make a harness that goes from the pins, you know, like kind of like another auxiliary jumper harness, but I could put it in the stock pins and run it all the way up to the front of the truck and into the radio. But unfortunately, I can't find it anywhere. Went to my buddy's shop, looked on his all data, trying to look at the wiring diagrams. They don't have it either. So I guess I'm gonna have to figure out how we're gonna go about that. I can't do a full body wiring or harness because that's like $600 from the dealer, so I'm not gonna do that. But that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna update you guys as soon as I get everything figured out. The camera, obviously the camera situation, we'll have to figure that out, exactly what harnesses we need. If there's a jumper harness you need purchased, I'll put all that stuff in the description in the update video and everything like that. So if you're planning on putting a backup camera in your tailgate, don't just look at the harness there. Make sure the harness I just showed you underneath the truck has more than 2 wires to it before you do that. If you do, then I am gonna, in the description, you'll see the part number for the little jumper harness for the camera that I put in, that I got from the dealer. So you should only have to put the handle with the camera, and then the jumper harness in, and then have the XAC code unlocked in your Uconnect, and it should work just fine. But if you're like me and you only have 2 wires, I will remedy the situation for us. So I do have some other stuff that I am going to install today. These are going to be separate videos, but I just want to give you a quick look-see-loo at what we got today. A whole bunch of parts coming in today. So this, my friends, is my new fuel level sensor. You see it has, if you watch my other video, see it has the connectors, the 3 connectors for it, one there, and one up here. This is the beautiful new connector, or the new sensor itself, with all the lines that aren't messed up, and along with a new O-ring for the fuel pump. So we're gonna get after that right now. We're gonna make that a separate video. And then we also have this lovely thing here. This is the Airlift 1000. They are a airbag that just, you squeeze inside of the coil, you manually run the air lines, and it's got a little manual valve that, you know, you'd use a normal, you know, air it up like you would air up your tire, but you'd have to air these up manually. I don't want something that comes with a compressor. I just need something cheap to help the rear suspension when I'm towing. This is what we opted for. It was about $103 on Real Truck. I'll put a link in the description of the video that we're gonna make for these. These are also gonna get installed today. So unfortunately, no cam, no trailer brake, but we are gonna get these 2 other things done. There'll be separate videos for each one, just in case people just want to watch one or just the other. They're not having to skip through videos to try to find it. So got to get it done, guys. Later.